I'm making this video on how to get a good score on your SATs. And it's just simple tips. I'm not going to promise you guys no 2400 or anything like that. But I do promise you'll improve if you just follow these simple tips. And I know people say it all the time, like just, wake up early and then eat like a good breakfast and stuff like that. But honestly, that stuff helps. Like, I don't believe in it, but when I actually do it, I do feel better about it and everything. So I'm going to start out with skipping questions. SATs, they're usually formatted in like easy questions are given first and then it gets to harder questions. For example, the math section, the questions that you'll start out with are going to be easier, and then when you go through it, the questions are going to get harder. So usually the last two questions in each math section is the hardest question there in that section. So if you don't know it, skip it. I know skipping sounds bad, and people say if you don't know the answer, just guess. Don't guess on the SATs. Can't stress like how much your score will go down if you just guess on answers. Trust me, I know, because I've checked my SAT scores, because I take SAT classes and I can put in my own scores. So I plugged in answers that I skipped and I plugged in answers that I guessed, and my score was higher with the ones that I skipped. So, like, it's okay if you skip 2 to 3 questions per section. You'll still get a good score. So, yeah, if you can't eliminate answers, skip it. If you can eliminate, like, a couple answer choices and you're down to 2, then just guess, because it's a 50-50 chance. If you can't eliminate any answer, then skip it. If you eliminate one answer, I'd still recommend skipping it. That's only if you didn't skip a lot of questions before. And do all the do all the questions that are given to you first, because they're the easy ones, and you'll most likely get them right if you just think about them. And, okay, my next tip is practice test taking skills. I know practicing a 4 to 5 hour test is hard, and I know no one wants to sit there and study for 5 hours or take the test for 5 hours. I'm not asking you to do it every day. Just take it like every Saturday in the morning. Wake up in the morning, just take it, get it over with. Because you get used to it and you do improve. Like, honestly, it does help, because I've taken SAT classes and we take practice tests every Saturday, and every Saturday my score improves. Like, so it does help. And so just sit there and practice your test. You don't even have to sit there for 5 hours. Practice a section or a couple sections a day. That's fine too. Okay, and my next tip is brush up on basic rules. Like the simple English rules you guys learned in like 5th grade, middle school, all that stuff. People tend to forget them when they get into high school or when it comes to taking the SATs. But just know them, like subjects and sentences, adverbs, all that stuff that you need to know. Now the math. Most of the math is just algebra 2 and under. You're not going to be given questions that are related to trig or calculus and all that stuff. It's stuff that you've learned before you take the SATs. I think most people take the SATs when they're juniors. And so yeah, it's all the stuff that you learned. It's nothing. No, they're not going to throw some complicated question at you. That's not what they're meant for. And now, don't memorize formulas and other junk. Meaning, don't sit there and memorize the distance formula because you think that it's going to be on the SATs, because it's most likely not going to be on there. And they do give you a little, what's it called? A little guide thing in the beginning of math sections. And they tell you, like, the area of a triangle and the shapes and stuff, circumference, all that stuff. They tell you how to find it. So you don't need to memorize the formulas. And they're not going to give you a question that you need to memorize a formula for. So don't bother. It's not going to work. And you're just going to waste your time and your brain energy. So, and the next one is vocab. I'd say study SAT vocab. I mean, you can get apps for them on iPhones, iPads, iPod. I know I have one on my iPad. It's just little flashcards, and they give you the SAT word and the what's it called, definition. And I know dictionary.com does that, the SAT word of the day. Just do those. Just, don't sit there the night before and cram for them. Don't memorize 100 words before you take the SATs, because that's not going to help you. But I would say start learning the vocab, because like when I took the SATs, I didn't know half the words that were on the SATs. And like I was freaking out because, well, I'm talking about my practice test, because when I first took it, I was like, what the hell is this? I've never seen these words before. I don't know what they mean, and how do they expect me to answer the question if I don't know the word? But I guess you have to use what you know, like context clues and all that junk. So yeah, but I'd say brush up on vocab, just like the simple ones, the main SAT words there are. And that's pretty much it. Don't stay up the night before studying. Honestly, give yourself a break. That's pretty much it. And if you guys like to know, I got an 1820 on my first SATs, which I took March 10th, like about a month ago, 3 weeks ago. And I just got my score back not too long ago on March 29th, and I got an 1820. It's my first one, and my next one I'm going to take June 2nd. And these are the tips I followed, and it does help me. So I say you follow them too. And there's another thing. If you guys subscribe and you guys want free SAT tests that are from the official SAT book, and I can put a link in my description, and it's the book you can study off of. You can get it on Amazon.com, any website like that. And it's a big blue book, and it helps you study for the SATs. It's like $10 or $20, I don't know. And so that book helps because that book like provides questions and tests from the actual SAT makers. So it's like a hand-on experience, and I recommend getting that book. And if you guys can't and you want free SAT sample tests that you guys want to take at home, practice tests, just message me and I'll talk to you guys from there. And please subscribe. Thank you for watching.